I want to continue with bottoms up. We looked at the first example and a practice problem in the first video. In this one, I'm just going to go over 2 or 3 more just to clarify, make sure you understand. In number 2, we've done one already. We're going to begin by looking for greatest common factor. I do not have a greatest common factor, but I do want to go ahead and multiply A times C. So I have 4 times 21. So this is x squared minus 25x. 4 times 21 is 84. Go back to where you have trinomials where A is 1. I set up the 2 binomials. Go to the caboose. The signs will be different. One's a plus, one's a minus. What are factors of x squared? It's going to be x times x. Then the question is, what are factors of 84 that subtract and give me 25? So I'm going to come over to the side. I'm going to find all those factors of 84. So I have 1 times 84, 2 times 42, 3 will go into 84, 28 times, 4 will go into 84, 21, 6 will go into 84, 14 times, 7 will go in there, 12. And then 8, 9, 10, 11, I come back up to 12 and walk back up. So these are all the factors of 84. I'm looking here, what are the factors of 84 that subtract and give me 25? When I'm looking over here, these 3 and 28 subtract and give me 85. Just really want you to get in the habit of seeing all the factors that are options for you. Also, if you leave them up, you may use them at another time. So here I have factors of 84 that subtract and give me 25, but notice this is a negative 25. Since the signs are different, I have to choose the larger number to be negative, because that's what I need right here, and then this is 3. It's a good place to check. Outside here, we have negative 28x. Inside is a positive 3x. That adds up to be negative 25x. So far, I'm doing well. Once you multiply in the A, you have to remember to go back and divide out the A. So I'm going to divide both of these terms by 4. So this 3/4 does not reduce, so I bottoms up. 4 comes from the bottom, comes up to be the coefficient of x. And in the second parenthesis, 28 divided by 4 is 7, and that reduces evenly. So this is my answer. To check that, and I would advise you to do so, you just FOIL this out, distribute both the 4x and the 3, and you'll come up with this original trinomial. Number 3. In this problem, and every problem, the first thing you do is look for the greatest common factor. I do have a greatest common factor in this particular problem. For the coefficients, it's 2. For the x, I have x to the 3, x to the 2, x to the 1. So I'm going to factor out 2x. 2x will go into 10x cubed and leave 5x squared. 2x will go into 26x squared and leave 13x. And 2x will go into 16x 8 times. So now I keep the 2x and I'm going to bottoms up. 5 times 8. So I have x times x squared minus 13x, and 8 times 5 is 40. Bring down the 2x. You can't lose that. Set up your 2 binomials. The signs will be the same, some same. They will both be minus minus. So the first term is x squared, so this is going to be x and x. And then the question is, what are factors of 40 that add and give me 13? So I come over and say, what are factors of 40? 1 times 40, 2 times 20, 4 times 10, 5 times 8, and which of those add and give me 13? It's going to be the 8 and the 5 that add and give me 13. The signs are the same, so it's not going to matter which number goes with which parenthesis. Here's where you have to be careful. You multiplied in the 5, not the 10. You multiplied in the 5. So what I need to do now is divide out the 5. That's one reason I like to draw that arrow so I'll know what I've multiplied in, just as a reminder. So we have 2x times 5 over 5 reduces to 1. 8/5 does not, so we bottoms up. 5 becomes the coefficient, and that leaves 5x minus 8. Now this whole thing, including my greatest common factor, is the answer to number 3. One more. I have 12x squared minus 24x minus 15. My common factor here, as I look through it, is 3. So I have a common factor of 3. I'm going to factor out the 3, and that's going to be 4x squared. 3 will go into 24, 8x times, and then minus 5. Once I'm to this point, I keep the common factor, and I'm going to bottoms up, 4 times 5. So we have x squared minus 8x, and 4 times 5 is 20. Keeping the greatest common factor, set up your two binomials. The signs will be different. One's a plus, and one's a minus. X squared is my first term, so this is x and x. The question is, what are factors of 20 that subtract and give me 8? So I'm looking at factors of 20. 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. Which of these subtract and give me 8 would be 2 and 10. Now again, I need to go back and look. That's a negative 8, so the 10 gets the negative and the 2 gets the positive. What I multiplied in was the 4, so I'm going to have to divide by 4. Now on both of these, and this is a great example, you have to reduce your fraction. So I have x plus 1/2 and x minus 5/2. You have to reduce your fraction before you bottoms up. Now that you've reduced, keeping the common factor of 3, bottoms up. 2 comes up, 2x plus 1. 2 comes up, 2x minus 5. And then this would be my final answer. To include the greatest common factor, really note right here, you must reduce your fractions before you bottoms up. You should actually always reduce your fractions, any fractions that you have. So reduce your fractions before you bottoms up.